A glass of sparkling wine with the Chancellor. Kurt Biedenkopf celebrated his 80th birthday this year. Angela Merkel was on hand to honor a man who has done sterling service for her conservative CDU party. His popularity in Saxony's capital, Dresden, has remained unbroken to this day.
Yes, he's still our King Kurt, and he still makes public appearances now and then. He lives very near here, and I think he's a good guy.
We have a lot to thank him for in helping us to rebuild.
He moved Saxony forward. I think he's a great man. He achieved a lot, and no one else has come close.
Biedenkopf came to Saxony immediately after the fall of communism. At a time when fundamental economic restructuring was needed in the East, he seemed to instinctively know that local people had to be fully on board with what was happening instead of feeling steamrollered by the West.
It was vital that I, as leader, helped to ensure that people did not lose their self-respect or their pride. I just knew it. I was very impressed by the history of this region. Saxony was the cradle of industrialization in Germany, long before the Ruhr region rose to prominence. I reminded people of that and said, look at what your forefathers did. You can do that too.
The beginnings of the Biedenkopf era are now the stuff of legend. With a fresh, hands-on approach, he set up an improvised state government in a former guest house of the Stasi, the East German secret police. Biedenkopf had no experience of governing. In West Germany, he'd been more of a political manager and CDU general secretary. But in the autumn of 1990, he was elected state premier after the CDU had gained an absolute majority in the state parliament. Saxony had turned conservative overnight, a sensation that was largely to Biedenkopf's credit. But both Biedenkopf and Saxony were entering uncharted waters.
I told them right from the start, I'm happy to be your state premier. But you might end up protesting outside the state chancellery in a year's time, telling me you can't take any more. But in 5 years' time, you will be proud of what you have achieved.
One of those closely acquainted with Biedenkopf's style of government is Michael Sigurna, for many years his spokesman.
One thing that singled him out was that he was obsessed with facts and details. He always wanted to know why we are doing this, what is our goal, what is our strategy, what funds do we have at our disposal, and what exactly are the facts.
Biedenkopf's top priority was creating new jobs. The computer industry was one area of focus. Biedenkopf himself had previously worked in industry and had good contacts in the U.S. Saxony gave birth to a miniature Silicon Valley that also attracted a U.S. computer corporation.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to turn the microphone over to my new friend and my new long-term partner, Professor Dr. Biedenkopf.
My father told me when I started out here, he was 90 years old at the time, son, experience has shown that where the doves are, more doves will gather. Make sure you get a few good doves.
Biedenkopf and his wife Ingrid came to embody the growing self-confidence of the state of Saxony. They were almost like a royal couple. Under Biedenkopf, the CDU won an absolute majority for 3 successive terms, an unparalleled success. But then things began to unwind, finally coming to an inglorious end. Biedenkopf was involved in a number of scandals. And it also emerged that he had repeatedly violated government rules regarding the use of his official car and residence. In 2002, he resigned as state premier.
He didn't accurately assess the importance of these small things. He didn't think they would create such difficulties for him. They were mostly things that everyone knew about. We would smile about them. He took them too lightly.
But Biedenkopf's popularity in Saxony continued. And when he looks at Saxony today, he is, on the whole, satisfied.
I can only say for this region, for which I was responsible for a time, it's working, it's okay, it's good.
All 10 of his grandchildren attended the celebrations for his 80th birthday. Now Kurt Biedenkopf can sit back and relax. His place in history is secure, and the next generation can now take over.